Today you're going to start your Neovim journey. We're going to set up this color scheme, we're going to set up this sidebar, and we're going to set up Telescope to search for your files. Okay, first things first, you're going to need to install the Lazy.nvim package manager. So if you just jump to the repo, click the install button, and follow the installation steps here, and then you should have something that looks like this. So we have an init Lua and a Lua folder. In the Lua folder, we've got a plugins folder and a config folder. In the plugins folder, we have nothing at the moment. And then in the config folder, you'll have a lazy.lua. Now the options and the keymaps, that's just my personal options and keymaps for Neovim. You can copy them from the GitHub Repo if you want, but basically it's just my custom keymaps and things like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install a color scheme to make our editor look good. So you can install any color scheme you like. I'll leave a link in the description for a website where you can find loads of color schemes, but I'm just going to go with tokyonight. So if you just copy this installation here, and we jump back over to the code, in the colorscheme.lua, we will get an error when we open this. Now that is because we've not set any plugins up yet. So it's trying to load an empty plugins directory. That's fine. Once we add this plugin, we won't get that anymore. So if we return Lua table, and then in that Lua table, we want to put tokyonight. So we write and quit out of that, and then we jump back in. Nothing happened. Why is that? This will run on setup. So this function will run when this plugin is loaded. So if we do vim command, and we want to set the color scheme, now this is the same for whatever plugin you chose. Just make sure you reference the right color scheme. And boom, there's the color scheme. Now hold on, let's jump into a React project. The colors don't look great, did they not? That's because we need something called treesitter. Now treesitter is what color schemes use to parse different colors for different things. So for example, HTML tags will have one color, class names will have another color, and things like that. So you need treesitter in order for the color scheme to apply these colors. So we're going to have to jump in now and install treesitter. So here we are in the treesitter repo, in the installation page, and all we want to do is want to copy this setup just here. So this is the Lazy.nvim setup. If you're using a different plugin manager, then you'll have a different setup. This config section is where we can set initialization things, just like before, remember with the color scheme, how we set the color scheme in here. Well, in here, we can set different things like ensure installed. So for now, I'm just going to say ensure installed Lua, because we're going to be using Lua, and JavaScript. And we'll leave HTML in there, sure. And then if we write and quit out of here, we jump back in, it's going to install our plugin. Perfect. Now we'll also just see at the bottom there, it's installed JavaScript and Lua all on its own just there. And that's because this ensure installed option. So if we jump back into our repo from before, look at them colors. Better now, aren't they? So it also has an option to auto install languages based on the file format. So if we do auto install true, and then we open a test.rb, which is Ruby, as you can see in the bottom there, it's installing the Ruby parser. This is helpful because you don't have to install it or make sure it's in your config every time. As long as you have this auto install on, it will automatically install the parser for the language you're working with. So next what we're going to be installing is a file tree. So if we just jump down to the installation and copy the Lazy.nvim setup, and if we just paste that in here, and then now, if we quit and open again, we should be able to do :nvim-tree toggle. Just like that. And there we go. The tree's being toggled and we can see all our files that we've made so far. Perfect. Now that's great, but we don't want to do :nvim-tree toggle every time, do we not? So if we come in here, we can set it as a key map. Just like that. So you have a keys table where you can define all the keys that are specific to this plugin, which we're going to choose as leader E. I think it comes from Minecraft, you know, E for inventory. Yeah, if you know, you know. Anyway, now if we write and quit out of here and we jump back in, we can do leader E to open and close the tree. Perfect. Now that we've got the tree set up, we can press the letter A to add a file. So I'm going to add telescope. This is the next plugin we're going to install. It's pretty much a necessity when you've got Neovim. So here we're going to install telescope. Scroll down here. And as you notice that you need to have a dependency rip grep. This is so that you can grep through the files in your system. So if you don't have this installed, you won't be able to do the grepping. Now, if you don't know what grepping is, it's basically the equivalent of finding files in VS Code. So if you want to find a word in a specific file, but you don't know what the file is, that's what that's for. So if you scroll down here to the installation, we'll copy that. We'll jump back to the code. And in here, in the telescope file, we'll just paste exactly what we just got. We'll write and quit. We'll reopen. And boom. We now have telescope installed. So if I do :telescope, we get all the options of things that telescope can do. Now, the main ones that you're going to want to set up are find files, which means you can search through the files. So if we want to search for, I don't know, our lazy file, boom, just like that. And then the second one you want to set up is called grep. Now, it's live grep that you want. So if we want to search for a place where we've used the word tokyonight, we can just type tokyonight, and look at this, all the instances where we've typed tokyonight. Now, to do this, we're going to do it the same way we just did a minute ago. So if we just clean this up first, just like that. So now we want to quit out of here, we'll jump back in, and let's say we want to go to the telescope file, we do leader SF, which is what we set. We want to go back to the telescope file. If we want to search for something with grep, we do leader SG, and then we can say tokyonight, for example. Powerful. So that's it for this video. Next video, we're going to be setting up auto completions, LSP, and IntelliSense. I'll see you then.